What if I told you that changing the simple words you speak every day could actually change the physical shape of your brain?
It is crazy to think
Right.
about.
And what if I told you that this physical change in your brain could increase your future salary by 25%?
Yeah, that is a huge amount of money.
We are not talking about magic today. We are talking about biology. And, we are talking about your career.
It is a very powerful combination. I mean, people usually think that learning a language is just about memorizing a dictionary.
Exactly. Just reading lists of words in a dark room.
Right. But the science shows us that it is actually a complete change of your mental and professional life.
Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. Today, we are looking at a very fascinating stack of
We
sources.
have some really good ones today.
We really do. We have research from neuroscience journals like the European Journal of Pedagogical Initiatives.
Hmm.
We have deep data on career mobility from a study in computer fraud and security.
Which is a very interesting place to find language data, by the way.
It really is.
Hmm.
We also have curriculum documents from language training centers like Interlingo Formation and Mobility Friends. And finally, the famous Oxford 3000 vocabulary list.
Yes, the big list.
So our mission today is to uncover the incredible cognitive, which means brain-related, and professional powers of learning a language.
And we have a special rule for today's deep dive.
Oh, yes. Please tell them.
To prove how effective and clear language learning can be, we are going to conduct this entire conversation strictly in B1 level English.
Which means we keep it simple.
Exactly. That means we will use clear, direct, and common language. We will not use complicated academic words if a simple word can do the job better.
I love this rule. And as we explore this topic, we are going to actively teach you, the listener, a specific batch of B1 vocabulary words.
Right, so you learn while you listen.
Exactly. We are focusing mainly on words from the Oxford 3000 list that start with the letters K and L, plus a few extra important ones. We will explain them naturally as we talk.
So by simply listening to this deep dive right now, you are actively upgrading your brain.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we can talk about how language improves your career, we have to look inside your head.
We need to see the machinery.
Right. We need to see exactly what is happening in your brain when you learn.
That is the best place to start. A study from the European Journal of Pedagogical Initiatives shows that learning a language is a very demanding mental activity.
It is really hard work.
It is. When you speak two languages, your brain has to constantly switch between different systems.
Like two different sets of rules.
Exactly. Imagine a traffic police officer standing in the middle of a busy city.
Oh, I like that picture.
Right. They have to watch cars coming from the north, south, east, and west, and they have to decide who moves and who stops.
That sounds stressful.
It is a lot to manage. Your brain is doing that with words and grammar rules.
So the brain has to manage the traffic of two different languages at the exact same time.
Yes. And this management improves something called working memory.
Okay, let me stop you there because attention becomes a key skill here.
Oh,
And by key, I mean it is absolutely essential to unlocking your potential. It is an adjective.
it is a great B1 word.
It is. For example, you might say, attention is a key skill for your brain.
Yes. You need that attention to filter out all the noise and focus on the road.
Right.
What's fascinating here is that the science calls this cognitive flexibility. Bilingual people, people who speak two languages, they are much better at ignoring distractions.
Because they have a good traffic cop in their head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because their brain is always managing that busy traffic, they develop stronger mental control.
And even young children do this, right?
Yes. In the Cambridge English exams for young learners, we see that children build strong cognitive skills just by matching simple words to real objects in their environment.
Like pointing at a table and saying table.
Yes. And this creates something called meta-linguistic awareness.
Meta-linguistic awareness. That sounds like a very big word.
It does, but it just means thinking about language as a system.
Oh, okay. Like a machine with different parts.
Exactly like that.
And as adults, we practice using this machine every day on our computers. When you sit down and type on a keyboard, which is the physical tool with letters that you use to write, you are working that system.
Yes, that is a perfect example.
So the noun keyboard is very practical. An example sentence is, you use a keyboard to practice writing in English.
Very clear.
But I have a question. What exactly happens when we practice? Do we get tired or do we get stronger?
Actually, the effort gives your brain energy.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the constant practice forces your brain to build new physical pathways. The neurons connect in new ways.
So the brain physically changes.
Yes, the gray matter in your brain actually becomes thicker.
Wow. So it gives your brain a real kick.
A very big kick.
And by kick, I don't mean hitting a football.
Mm.
As a noun, a kick is a sudden boost of energy or excitement.
Right.
For example, learning new words gives your brain a real kick.
That is a perfect use of the word.
But this makes me wonder about something else. If the brain is managing traffic and building thicker pathways, does this mean people who only speak one language are missing out?
That is a very common question.
If I lack a second language, and lack is a verb meaning to not have something, like people who lack a second language might miss some opportunities. Am I in trouble? Are my mental pathways weak?
Well, no. What's fascinating here is that we should not view monolingual people, people with only one language, as having weak brains.
Okay, that is good news.
Yeah, that is a complete misunderstanding of the science. A person who speaks one language can still have excellent focus if they play a musical instrument or do complex math.
Oh, so there are other ways to work out the brain.
Exactly. However, the data clearly shows that bilingual people build these efficient mental pathways naturally, just by living their daily lives.
So they don't have to try as hard to get the workout.
Right. They do not have to sit down and solve a math problem to work out their brain. They work out their brain just by ordering a coffee or reading the news in their second language.
That is a very important difference. The workout happens automatically in daily life.
Yes, every single day.
But you do not get that automatic workout if you just sit in an empty room and read a grammar book, do you?
No, definitely not.
To build those real pathways, you need to experience the chaos of the real world.
Yes, and this is a major problem in traditional education.
I can imagine.
An article from ELT News discusses the difference between learning from a textbook and learning from authentic materials.
Authentic materials, what are those exactly?
Authentic materials are things made for native speakers. They are not made for students.
Oh, okay. So like real television shows, real music, and real news reports.
Exactly. Because real life is not perfectly controlled.
Right. We do not learn in a laboratory.
No, we don't.
And a laboratory is a noun. It is a very clean, controlled room for scientific tests. In a sentence, you could say, we do not learn languages in a laboratory. We learn them in the real world.
That is very true.
In a laboratory, everything is perfect. But in real life, people speak too fast.
They really do.
They use slang. They make jokes.
And that chaos is exactly what your brain needs to grow.
Really? The case is good.
Yes. When you use authentic materials, you are not just learning grammar, you are learning the culture.
Ah.
Documents from the language school interlingo formation highlight that understanding the culture is what actually prevents miscommunication.
I see.
If you only study a textbook, you might know how to translate a sentence perfectly, but you will not know if that sentence is polite or rude in that specific country.
Because culture gives the words true meaning.
Yes. It changes everything.
It adds a whole new layer to the language. And a layer is a noun that means a level of material or a level of depth.
Good word.
For example, culture adds a deep layer of meaning to the words we speak. Without that layer, you are just a robot making sounds.
That is a great way to describe it. A robot.
Yeah, just beep boop, translating words.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, think about how people normally try to learn. They memorize a list of phrases.
Like, where is the bathroom?
Exactly. But when they travel, the native speaker does not reply with the exact phrase from the book.
No, they say something totally random.
Right. The native speaker uses a cultural reference. If you do not have that cultural layer, the conversation completely stops. You fail to communicate.
So to get that cultural layer, you have to read the stories that the people tell each other. You need to read their literature.
Yes, literature is very important.
Literature is a noun for written works like stories, poems, and plays. A good sentence is, reading authentic literature helps you understand the culture.
Very true.
And you cannot just read old books. You also have to listen to the normal people who live in the area right now, the local people.
Yes, the locals.
Local is an adjective meaning from a specific nearby place. For example, watching local news is a great way to hear natural English.
Yes, local context is everything.
Because it is happening right now.
Exactly. The weather, the politics, the daily problems of a city, all of these things shape how people use the language.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I am trying to picture this. Is learning strictly from a grammar book like studying the rules of a sport, like football, on a piece of paper?
Well, that is a good comparison.
Like, you know that the field is a certain size, you know what a foul is, But reading literature or talking to local people is like actually running on the grass during a real game.
Yes.
You have to feel the rhythm of the players, the wind, the noise of the crowd.
That is a much better analogy.
Yes.
You can know every rule of football perfectly, but if you have never run on the grass, you do not know how to play the game.
Right, you are just a fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cultural layer is the grass. It is the noise of the crowd. You have to play the game in the real world to actually become fluent.
Okay, so we know we have to get out of the laboratory and play the real game. We have the brain power, and we are starting to understand the cultural layer.
We have our boots on the grass.
Yes. But this brings up a very practical question. How long does it take to actually run on that field without falling down every 5 seconds?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. How long until you can handle the chaos? This brings us to the famous B1 threshold.
The B1 intermediate stage is a very, very important milestone.
Tell us about it.
Well, according to our sources from My Linguistics and the Training Center Mobility Friends, moving from the A2 beginner stage to the B1 stage takes about 50 to 70 hours of guided study.
Wow, 50 to 70 hours. That is a significant amount of time.
It is not a weekend project.
No. Reaching this level requires dedication, and level is a noun meaning a specific standard of skill or ability.
Yes.
You could say reaching the B1 level takes time and practice, but what physically happens during those 50 to 70 hours? Why is B1 so special?
Well, at the A2 level, your brain is still translating everything word for word.
So you are working very slowly.
Yes, you are in survival mode. You can ask, where's the train station, or how much is this coffee?
Basic needs?
Exactly.
Right.
But you cannot really express your personality.
Oh, that is so frustrating.
It really is. But when you cross into B1, your brain starts to automate the basic grammar. You stop translating every single word, and you start thinking in whole concepts.
You stop fighting the language.
Yes.
You push past your previous limit, and limit is a noun or a verb meaning the maximum point of something.
It is a great word.
For example, do not limit yourself to simple sentences.
I like that advice.
At B1, your limits expand. You finally pass the boundary. And pass is a very useful verb here. It means to go successfully past a difficult point.
Yes.
Like you will pass the beginner stage if you keep practicing.
And when you pass that limit, you can start using conditional sentences.
Oh, like if and would.
Exactly. You can say things like, if we have extra time tomorrow, I would love to visit the museum.
That sounds so much more natural.
Yes. You can explain your dreams, your opinions, and your professional goals. You can travel in an English-speaking country and manage almost any normal situation that happens to you.
But getting to that point can feel very slow. The length of the journey can be frustrating.
It takes patience.
It does. Length is a noun meaning the measurement of how long something is or how much time it takes. An example sentence is, the length of time it takes to learn depends heavily on your motivation.
Motivation is everything.
You need a lot of passion to keep going. Passion is a noun. It means a very strong feeling of love or enthusiasm for something.
Yes.
Example, you need real passion to study for 70 hours because during those hours you make a lot of mistakes.
Oh, you make so many mistakes. And making mistakes is the hardest part for adults.
Why is that?
Well, children do not care if they sound silly, but adults hate it.
We really do. We hate it because we feel stupid.
Exactly.
We feel a loss of our identity. And loss is a noun. It is the state of no longer having something or feeling that something is gone.
Right.
Example, you must overcome the fear of loss when you make a mistake. You have to accept the loss of your perfect adult image.
This raises an important question, though, about how adults view learning.
What do you mean?
An adult feels that making a mistake is a failure. But neurologically, in the brain, a mistake is just data.
Just information.
Yes. When you say the wrong word and someone corrects you, your brain experiences a small shock.
A shock.
Yes, a tiny shock of surprise. And that shock is exactly what builds the new mental pathway we talked about earlier. Without the mistake, the pathway does not grow.
Wow. So making a mistake is actually a necessary part of the brain workout.
It is the most important part.
So is B1 the moment where you finally stop making mistakes then? Is it like finding your balance on a bicycle where suddenly you can just ride perfectly without thinking?
Well, no, I have to challenge that idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, B1 is not perfection. You still make plenty of mistakes at B1.
Okay, good to know.
The difference is that at B1, your mistakes do not stop the conversation. You find your balance, yes, but you still wobble.
You still shake a little bit on the bike.
Exactly. If you look at the Mobility Friends course program for C1 and C2 advanced levels,
Huh?
you see what true fluency looks like.
What does that look like?
At advanced levels, you learn to read between the lines. You understand sarcasm. You participate in complex, fast debates. B1 is the moment you can finally ride the bicycle down the street safely. But C1 and C2 are when you learn to ride in a massive race with professional cyclists.
Yeah, I see. So B1 is just the end of the beginning. You are safe on the street, but you have a long way to go to win the race.
Exactly. You must keep practicing so you do not hit a limit and lose that hard-earned balance.
So what does this all mean for our lives outside the classroom?
This is where it gets very practical.
Yes. Once you find that balance and cross the B1 threshold, the benefits spill out of your brain and go directly into your bank account and your career.
Yes, they do.
This is where the data becomes undeniable. A detailed study from the journal Computer Fraud and Security looked at professionals across many different fields.
And the researchers wanted to see if language skills actually change a person's career path.
Right. And what did they find?
The data proves that language skills correlate directly with higher promotion rates, faster salary growth, and much higher overall job satisfaction.
Let's talk about the specific jobs this affects. Many of these high-paying jobs are connected to the law or business.
Yes, mostly business.
And that brings us to the word legal. Legal is an adjective. It means allowed by law or relating to the law.
Good word.
A good sentence is, many legal and international business jobs require excellent English skills. And the amazing thing is, you do not even have to move to a new country to get these jobs anymore.
That is right. Remote work has completely changed the rules.
So your physical location does not matter as much.
Not anymore.
Location is a noun meaning a specific place. For example, in a global business, your physical location does not matter if you can communicate well.
Exactly.
You can live in South America or Asia and work for a company in London, as long as your English is strong enough.
And if it is strong enough, the financial rewards are huge.
Give us the numbers.
The study shows that professionals at the B1 level receive an average salary increase of 12% compared to people who only speak one language.
12% just for hitting B1.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it does not stop there.
Yeah.
If you continue to study and reach the C2 level, that professional cyclist level we talked about, you can get a 25% salary increase.
A 25% increase just for changing the words you use.
It is an amazing investment.
That is incredible. So knowing a second language is absolutely not a luxury.
No, not at all.
A luxury is a noun. It means something expensive and enjoyable that you do not actually need to survive.
Like a sports car.
Exactly. A sentence would be, knowing a second language is not a luxury, it is a necessity for your modern career.
It is a core requirement for many jobs now. But we should note that the impact does vary depending on the specific sector you work in.
How so? Can you explain the percentage differences? And percentage is a noun meaning a rate or amount in each 100.
Yes.
Like the percentage of your salary increase depends on your job?
Exactly. The study breaks down the numbers by industry. In healthcare, for example, there is a 20% promotion rate directly linked to language skills.
Which is still very good.
It is very good. But in international business, there is a massive 45% promotion rate linked to language.
Wow. 45%.
The business sector relies entirely on cross-cultural communication to survive.
So international companies are mainly looking for this skill.
Yes, it is their top priority.
Mainly is an adverb. It means mostly or largely. Example sentence, international companies look mainly for people with strong communication skills.
They need leaders who can talk to anyone, anywhere in the world.
That is the crucial point, right?
Yes. In organizational psychology, they call language skills a core component of human capital.
Human capital.
Right. Companies do not pay you 25% more just because you know a lot of words.
That makes sense. They want results.
They pay you more because of what scientists call communication effectiveness.
What does communication effectiveness actually look like in an office?
It means you have the ability to solve human problems.
Ah, the cultural layer.
Exactly. If two departments in different countries are arguing over a project, you can step in, understand the cultural layers, negotiate a compromise, and lead that diverse team to success.
Because you understand the nuances.
Right. A monolingual manager cannot do that. A person with C1 or C2 English can. You are not just speaking English, you are managing conflict and building trust across borders.
You become the bridge between people. And companies paid top dollar for a strong bridge.
Precisely. Language skills are human capital. They make you permanently more valuable to the global market, and they make you a more capable thinker.
This has been such an incredible journey. Let's take a moment to recap what we have learned from all these amazing sources while staying strictly in our B1 English rule.
That sounds like a great idea.
First, we learned that learning a language gives your brain a massive kick of energy. It forces your working memory to manage traffic, building stronger mental pathways.
Second, we discovered that you cannot build those pathways in a clean laboratory.
No, you need the chaos.
Right. You have to learn in the real messy world. Culture adds a beautiful and necessary layer to your understanding, preventing you from making social mistakes.
Third, it takes about 50 to 70 hours to push past your limits and reach the B1 level.
Yes.
That is the moment you stop fighting for survival and finally find your balance on the bicycle. You push through the fear of loss and start expressing your true passion.
And finally, that B1 level serves as the key to unlocking real professional power.
The ultimate tool.
Yes. It leads to better salary percentages, faster promotions, and global locations for your career. It is not a luxury, it is mainly the most important tool you can have.
It really is. But before we go, we always like to leave our listeners with one final thought. What is the biggest takeaway here?
Well, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
When you memorize a grammar rule, or when you finally understand a joke in English, you are not just putting a tool in your pocket.
What are you doing?
Because every single new word physically thickens the neural pathways in your brain. The English language is actively, biologically changing your mind.
Wow.
You are not just using a language. The language is actively rewriting who you are.
The words you speak literally build the brain you have. That is mind-blowing.
It really changes your perspective on studying.
It does. So to you listening right now, keep pushing your boundaries. Keep reading that literature. Keep building those invisible mental muscles.
Exactly. Keep practicing.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Go enjoy your brain workout, and we will see you next time.